Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Strategic Power. At the beginning of this week, during the meeting of the two sessions, China formally expressed a hostile stance towards Taiwan. All the investment made by Xi Jinping and China allowed them to acquire more advanced technology, including fifth-generation fighter jets and aircraft carriers. The Chinese leaders are determined, above all, to regain control of Taiwan. Taiwan and Ukraine are nations that sought to follow their own paths, cultivating friendships with the West and establishing democratic systems. The recent attack on Ukraine has once again awakened global concerns. It's as if it were the second major alarm, and perhaps the last. However, Taiwan can draw valuable lessons from this crisis. In this video, we will explore the main lessons Taiwan can learn from the situation in Ukraine, as tensions with China persist. We will also analyze how Taiwan can use these lessons to its advantage. Get ready for an in-depth analysis on politics and war. So, to begin, it's important to understand some context. For a long time, many believed that the Chinese army would not be able to invade Taiwan, but now experts are reconsidering this idea. China is planning, and between 2025 and 2027, it could be ready for an attack. This has made people in Taiwan very attentive to what is happening in Ukraine. The resistance and determination shown by the Ukrainian people in the face of the Russian invasion have profoundly influenced Taiwan, strengthening their commitment to defending their freedom, as expressed by Bi-khim Xiao, Taiwan's representative in the United States. It is crucial to note that these are not just words. Russia's brutal invasion has already led the Taiwanese government to take concrete steps in response. Taiwan is considering extending military service to more than 4 months. The minister stated in Parliament that they are evaluating that possibility and will have a plan this year. Due to pressure from Beijing and the situation in Ukraine, they are discussing ways to strengthen defense. In addition, what can Taiwan learn from Ukraine? Above all, Taiwan is an island and is vulnerable to a blockade. Before launching a direct military attack, China could resort to blockade tactics, including hybrid warfare, such as cyber attacks or sabotage, just as happened in Ukraine. This is an important lesson for Taiwan. To resist a blockade, Taiwan needs to increase its oil reserves to keep its armed forces operating. What can Taiwan do to increase these reserves? According to Taiwanese legislation, they need to have enough oil to last 30 days, based on the average consumption of the previous year, which is about 1 million barrels per day. However, military experts argue that Taiwan should have at least double that, or at least 60 days of reserves. They suggest storing the extra oil in elevated locations throughout the country, making it safer from precise attacks and allowing the oil to move by gravity in case of power failure. In addition, experts recommend building fuel-powered generators near these oil depots to supply backup power. Considering that the enemy may attack ports first, Taiwan also needs to be prepared to receive maritime deliveries without relying on ports. These measures are estimated to cost Taiwan more than $4 billion. However, ensuring that the armed forces have enough oil can be decisive in the outcome of the war. Of course, in addition to oil, experts also suggest that Taiwan needs to rapidly increase its reserve of basic foods to ensure at least 120 days of reserves, build water wells across the island, and establish a solid satellite communication network. In Ukraine, the Starlink internet service has become crucial, helping people in unexpected ways during the conflict, especially in the face of Russian attacks on Ukrainian communication systems, including cyber attacks. These initial measures seek to help Taiwan resist until international assistance arrives or until China backs down. However, along with improving infrastructure, Taiwan needs, above all, to strengthen its military defenses. This is the second major lesson Ukraine is teaching Taiwan. It is possible to contain a more powerful army. To achieve this, it is crucial to focus on 3 main aspects: missile defense, aircraft defense, and maritime attack defense. The war in Ukraine is revealing important lessons for Taiwan and China. China may be realizing that to achieve military superiority, it must use considerable force, something Russia did not do before attacking Ukraine. To face this potential threat, Taiwan needs to strengthen its defense against ballistic missiles and precise airstrikes. Currently, Taiwan's armed forces are planning to upgrade its 350 Patriot missiles and acquire 300 more interceptors. However, after the events in Ukraine, it may be necessary to go further, such as acquiring drones equipped with electronic warfare technology to make it harder for Chinese missiles to reach them. But how to finance these initiatives? Much depends on Taiwan's economy. Some suggest that the United States should bring its THAAD defense system to Taiwan, but it is unlikely that Washington will agree, especially after tensions with China when THAAD was deployed in South Korea. In addition, Ukraine has shown that denial of air control is possible and can be crucial to delaying the enemy's advances. Ukraine mounted a layered defense, making it difficult for invaders to dominate the airspace without conquering total control. Without that control, China would have difficulty executing many of its military plans against Taiwan. Analysts suggest that Taiwan could adopt a similar strategy with long-range, medium-range, and portable defense systems such as manpads. These actions could be costly but are crucial for Taiwan's effective defense. Another important lesson is maritime defense, considering Taiwan is an island. Preventing a maritime invasion and avoiding coastal attacks from China are priorities. Although Taiwan's navy is not as strong as Ukraine's, it can adopt a maritime denial strategy, making it difficult for the enemy to use the sea. Ukraine demonstrated this by using naval mines and stockpiling anti-ship missiles and munitions along the coast. This allowed Ukraine to sink the warship Moskva without being detected, taking its crew by surprise. The lessons from Ukraine also highlight the need for Taiwan to increase its arsenal of weapons, despite recent advances. Taiwan plans to increase its annual missile production capacity and acquire more anti-ship missiles and radars from the United States. However, more efforts are needed to establish a truly effective defense. Another important aspect is the narrative war and communication. Ukraine managed to control the narrative and gain significant international support, even as the invaded country. Taiwan, known for its civil rights and advanced technology, should focus on its international image and become a symbol of freedom and democratic values to attract support from the West. Finally, Taiwan must learn from Ukraine the importance of joint training with allies and partners and the ability to receive real-time assistance during a conflict. Although the United States is committed to helping Taiwan, there are challenges due to the lack of formal diplomatic relations with many countries. Therefore, Taiwan must be prepared to defend itself alone, if necessary, while seeking to strengthen ties with its allies. History teaches us that smaller armies can defeat larger forces, as seen in the Battle of Marathon. Taiwan is already preparing for defense in various ways, but it can quickly learn from the lessons of the war in Ukraine. With this in mind, what other lessons do you think Taiwan should draw from this conflict? Share your ideas in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell to receive our latest updates.